quick, Stuart. This actually comes to us from Variety, letting us know that, yes, the Powerpuff Girls have, in fact, been cast. We've got Chloe Bennett, Dove Cameron, and Yana Peralt. A lot of these names you guys will probably recognize. Chloe and Dove have actually, Dove have both been on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before in the past. And I believe Dove also maybe comes from the line of Disney upstarts, if you certainly will. So let's go ahead and get into this Variety article here. It says the live action Powerpuff Girl pilot at the CW has found its 3 leads: Chloe Bennett, Dove Cameron, and Yana Peralt. It says the Powerpuff Girls live action was first announced as being in development back in August. It says based on the Cartoon Network series, the new series sees the pint-sized superheroes as delusioned 20-somethings who resent having lost their childhood to crime fighting. Will they agree to reunite now that the world needs them more than ever? And so it says Bennett has been cast as Blossom, Cameron has been cast as Bubbles, and Peralt has been cast as Buttercup. It goes on to say here that Blossom, and we got some great character descriptions also, which I'm really glad that they wind up giving us. Blossom, played by Chloe Bennett, though she was a spunky, conscientious, Little Miss Perfect child who holds several advanced degrees, has repressed kitty superhero trauma, has left her feeling anxious and reclusive, and she aims to become a leader again, this time on her own terms. They also go ahead and talk a little bit about Bubbles here, played by Dove Cameron. Dove's sweet girl disposition won America's heart as a child. She still sparkles as an adult, but her charming exterior bellies an unexpected toughness and wit. She's initially more interested in recapturing her fame than saving the world, but she just might surprise us and herself. And then last but not least, we've got Buttercup, played by Yana Peralt. It says, Buttercup was a rebellious badass of the Powerpuff Girls in its heyday. More sensitive than her tough exterior suggests, Buttercup has spent her childhood trying to shed her Powerpuff Girl identity and live an anonymous life. So some great character arcs here, I feel like, for Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. Honestly, wasn't quite sure what I was going to get as far as personality traits, but this kind of feels like very much right up the alley of people in their 20-somethings that kind of resent their childhood and maybe some of the trauma that comes with not only facing off against crime as a kid, but also having to be raised sort of in that spotlight, if you will, and maybe some of the ramification that it has. It almost feels like I think of like young upstart people in like music, you know what I'm saying, that kind of have all this shine kind of thrown on them, and their lives just kind of go out of whack, if you will. And it's not till they start hitting, start getting older and a little bit more mature, that they start seeing their lives and looking back on it, and things kind of start progressing, if you will. So I kind of dig just sort of the real life vibes that we get here from Powerpuff Girls. What happens when you get older and you start coming out of that fame that you've had all these years of being a superhero and stuff. I love it. I love that all these ladies are having a lot that they have to deal with and overcome, if you will. And this seems like a pretty interesting situation here for our Powerpuff Girls. But Stuart, you hear some of these character breakdowns and where we're going to find them. How do you like the casting, and what do you like the choices so far for these character details?
I think they're spot on with the idea of where these characters would be as adults. So I think that's really cool. As for who they got so far, so Chloe Bennett obviously is totally a win there. Dove Cameron, I do recognize her because I think she was in like a couple episodes of Shameless. Yes, she was. And then she was also in the movie Descendants, which my little brother used to love. So I used to love that movie. So I have actually seen that movie. I think those two will be really good in their roles. As for Yana, unfortunately, I think this is like her first role, so I don't really have an opinion for her. But I'm sure knowing who they put her to, co-star with, there had to have been a really good reason for that. So I am excited to see how she does with her debut in this TV series. I think in terms of character character descriptions, yeah, exactly like where they are currently in the show. Definitely seems exactly like where they would have been if the cartoon had like a spin-off where they all grew up as adults. So I'm definitely excited. I think what I'm also really intrigued about, something I didn't think of until you kind of brought this up, the idea of it kind of all ending up being like kind of a big metaphor for like kind of real life child stars who end up kind of giving up their whole childhood for, you know, all that fame that they end up getting, but they don't really realize what they're getting into because they're really young. I think that's going to be absolutely brilliant. And also, I can't wait to find out who they got cast as the mayor and Miss Bellum.
Yeah, you got to know that you got to think that eventually those casting announcements will be brought to our attention. So I'm really looking forward to see who they have cast as that also. But you bring up a good point in regards to some of the casting choices here. Let me see. They did actually talk a little bit about Yana towards the end, because while I'm not very familiar with her, it does say that she was most recently seen on Broadway in the Alanis Morissette musical Jagged Little Pill. She was also set to join the cast of Hamilton on Broadway before the pandemic actually shut down live theaters. So it says she is known for performing and producing her own original music as well. So it would mark her on-screen debut. So it definitely feels as though not only is she just an artist when it comes to music, but on Broadway also. So Ray Fisher also came from Broadway, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So I feel like if you come from Broadway, you definitely have some chops, some acting chops. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she brings to the Buttercup role, considering that Buttercup was always my personal favorite. But I will say this, I think the big win here, while I'm sure Dove Cameron will certainly do a fantastic job as Bubbles, the big win here for me is definitely Chloe Bennett. I mean, the idea of coming into the CW show with a recognizable name from just right off a huge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fame, if you will, in playing Daisy, aka Quake. I think this was a huge pickup for them, and pretty brilliant in regards to just name recognition alone. I don't know how many people were excited for the idea of a Powerpuff Girl movie until this until this actually dropped, and people saw, oh, Chloe Bennett's attached. Okay, maybe we'll start paying attention to this a little bit more. So I think this was a brilliant casting, and I'm really eager to see what the chemistry is going to be like for all these ladies. But I'm really excited for this.
I am as well. You know, it is really funny because I feel like going back to the first announcement for the Powerpuff Girls live action series, I didn't think it was actually going to happen. I figured there's no way this is actually going to be picked up, but here we are. Not only is it being picked up, but you got someone like Chloe Bennett like attached to it. So they must have like a really interesting premise going on for not only a big network, or not only for the CW to pick it up, but for a big actor like Chloe to be involved in it. There must be something about this script that really intrigues people. So I'm definitely excited to see what it is.
Yeah, and we'll definitely keep you guys posted. Again, I believe this is just for the pilot, though. I don't believe it's been picked up for a full order as of yet. But when you've got star power like that attached, and I think a lot of people kind of intrigued, we'll see how the pilot certainly performs, and maybe we'll get ourselves an entire series order here pretty soon. But listen, guys, at the end of the day, we definitely want to go ahead and know your thoughts, though. Powerpuff Girls live action coming our way here. We've got our cast. What do you think about the casting choices, and especially some of the character descriptions? I definitely want to go ahead and know your guys' thoughts. It's pretty interesting seeing somebody like Blossom or Bubbles having like maybe some anxiety and things like that. I kind of dig the idea of just trying to see what these characters are really going to go through. But we definitely want to know your thoughts, guys. So let us know in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies.